It's Sunday. What does that mean? That means that's your weekly dose of Single Sunday. That's right. We're going to go over what we end up picking up in the singles, which is our comic book poll. So we're going to go over that. With Single Sundays, we end up diving into our poll. What is a poll? Well, it's something that you could go to your local comic book shop, or you can end up having a online comic book shop where they'll end up holding a book that you're looking for or a title that you're looking for. It's a guaranteed way for them to have that sale, and it's a guaranteed way for you to get the book that you're looking for. So this week we end up having a couple flyers. They still qualify as flyers, but one of them is probably going to end up making it into our regular poll. So what are those flyers? Well, we'll start off with issue number 2 of Magic and Colossus. I love the little brother and sister connection that we ended up having, and you can definitely see that relationship being featured into this issue. This issue ends up wrapping up, or not wrapping up, but ends up having some battle going on. Well, at the end, Colossus ends up losing Ariana again. What the? That's going to be issue number 2 of Magic and Colossus. And now this is issue number 4, and that's Masters of the Universe, the Sword of Flaws. So Skeletor ended up getting that new sword that comes over with it. And what does it do? Well, looks like it siphons off power. And we end up seeing what's going on. There's an epic battle between Triclops and Skeletor. What's that battle? What's going on? Oh man, you're going to have to end up reading this. And what's taking the power of He-Man? Well, you're going to have to read this to find out what that is. That brings us over to our pull list, what we have on our pull list. And this week we have 2, that's right, top 2 issues that's on our pull list. So let's dive in and go with number 2. Number 2 is going to be Absolute Batman. It had a good story, has some action, has some development that's going on with this character. Certain someone gets to put together that Bruce plus size equals Batman. So who is that? And who's still not following along, but might be getting it at the end? Well, you're going to have to read this issue to be able to find out. Awesome art, awesome progression that goes on with it. Our number 1 book. This is exciting. We ended up having some kind of action that came over with it. But our number 1 book is I believe it looks like the writers, or not writer, but the artist is leaving the book. I don't know who he's going to get replaced with, but that is Transformers, issue number 30. Dan Mora is still doing the art. I believe it said in the little comment section that this is the last one for him. We end up seeing some craziness going on with Alita and Optimus Prime going over with that. The fallout from the last issue. And he's finally coming up and the payment is due. Needless to say, someone gets powered down. Someone gets powered up. Who's that? Well, you're going to have to read this book to find out. However, it is sent in a different way that the Transformers, or should I say specifically the Autobots, are going to go about their business. And it was a very way that comes over with it, and it's a good shocking moment. So, that is your dose of the Single Sundays. That's right, your weekly dose ended up getting fulfilled. And if the doctor was here, he'll say, wait until next week to be able to get that dose. Make sure you end up following us. Hit that bell to be able to be notified whenever we come out with new content. And as always, thank you for watching. And until next time, we'll see you later.